now.
Hi, I'm Steve Sabol. The Super Bowl is as much spectacle as it is sport. Understandably, it's a front-page story in Buffalo and Washington, but you could say that news everywhere takes a back seat to the Super Bowl. Last year's Gulf War, for example, was covered by about 1,500 reporters. Last year's Super Bowl, on the other hand, was covered by 2,500 reporters. And while there's plenty of articles and TV specials about the Super Bowl and its history, there's still a thing or two only a true connoisseur of the game could know. So for those of you who like a challenge, we've prepared the ultimate test of Super Bowl trivia.
The Super Bowl does have its lighter side, for the game does bring out the ultimate in viewer participation. So for all those dedicated followers of fanaticism who've given the game so much of its color and character, we hereby present the ultimate in Super Bowl trivia. Question number 1. What quarterback with a minimum of 20 attempts holds the record for completion percentage in a single Super Bowl game? You would think this record would be held by a precision passer like Bart Starr or a sharpshooter like Lenny Dawson. How about Joe Montana and his short, high-percentage aerial game? Well, while these three men between them have 6 Super Bowl MVP awards, none of them were quite as sharp as Phil Simms was in Super Bowl XXI. On that day, Simms was nearly flawless. He hit on 22 of 25 passes, good for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns, in an MVP performance that highlighted the New York Giants' first ever Super Bowl victory. Question number 2. Who is the only person to score a Super Bowl touchdown and also be the head coach of a Super Bowl winner? Both Forrest Gregg and Sam White have been to Super Bowls as player and coach, but neither scored a touchdown, and both Bengal teams they coached went down to defeat.
Just like we have. Don't come off this field telling us what to do.
On the other hand, Tom Flores has coached 2 Super Bowl winners for the Raiders, but as a quarterback in Super Bowl IV, the only action Flores got close to was Hank Stram's battles with the refs.
How in the world can all 6 of you miss a play like that? All 6 of you miss a play.
However, in January of 1972, Roger Staubach put the finishing touches on the first of 2 Cowboy Super Bowl victories by hitting a wide-open Mike Ditka in the end zone. Yes, the very same Mike Ditka who returned to the Super Bowl 14 years later as the head coach of the big, bad Chicago Bears. In one of the most lopsided NFL championships of all time, the Bears crushed the New England Patriots 46-10, giving a former tight end named Mike Ditka a Super Bowl victory as a head coach. Question number 3. Who was the only player to intercept 3 passes in one Super Bowl?
They're playing like we would like them to play to beat them. They really are, coverage-wise and everything else.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
In Super Bowl XV, Eagle coach Dick Vermeil and quarterback Ron Jaworski thought they had the Raider defense figured out, but they failed to detect the sneaky presence of a linebacker wearing number 53.
The throw. He's got some bag. Throws one. Intercepted. Rod Martin.
Oh, Ronnie. No. Throw it right to him.
As a former 12th round draft choice, Rod Martin had been overlooked before. Surprisingly, the Eagles kept throwing in his direction. The result? A Super Bowl record 3, yes, count them, 3 interceptions for Rod Martin. Question number 4. Who is the only person to start and play in one Super Bowl on defense and start and play in another Super Bowl on offense? Super Bowl history has seen great efforts by the same man on both sides of the line. Consider Joe Theismann. This quarterback might have made the defensive play of Super Bowl XVII when he broke up a potential interception that surely would have been a touchdown. Then, of course, there was the fridge. Defensive end and part-time running back William Perry barreled into the end zone for 6 in Super Bowl XX. But neither Perry nor Theismann accomplished what former Chief E.J. Holub did in Super Bowls I and IV. Against Green Bay, Holub, number 55, started and played the entire game as a linebacker. 3 years later, Holub converted to center. And despite Hank Stram's ramblings, E.J. Holub performed well on offense that day.
Down there, it looks like they were late. Come on, we can't be making any mistakes down here.
Well enough to have his picture on the cover of Sports Illustrated. The fifth and final question. Who is the former NFL wide receiver whose only pass reception in his college and pro career happened to be a Super Bowl touchdown? Now, while you ponder this, consider that many famous receivers have never scored a Super Bowl touchdown, though some have come close. Colts receiver Jimmy Orr was wide open on this flea flicker in Super Bowl III, but Earl Morrall never saw him. Although Orr caught over 300 career passes, none were a Super Bowl touchdown. And then there was Jackie Smith, who finally made it to the Super Bowl with the Cowboys in 1978, after 15 long seasons as a Cardinal. In the third period of Super Bowl XIII, Dallas was trailing by 7 and needed a touchdown. Tom Landry and Roger Staubach looked for a clutch play from Smith. They would not get it. Although he caught more than 400 passes in his career, Jackie Smith will always be remembered for the one he dropped in a Super Bowl. Ironically, just 3 years earlier, the Cowboys were also trailing a Steeler team in Super Bowl X. And just as ironically, they looked for a clutch grab from a receiver wearing number 81. In this case, they got it. So what's so unusual about that? Well, because he played basketball and not football in college, and because a knee injury prematurely ended his NFL career, this Super Bowl touchdown represents the only pass Percy Howard ever caught.
It's a sports trivia type question, you might say. And they ask it very frequently. I'm sure that everyone in this area by now, they know what the answer is, but people keep coming up with the question. And I'm driving down the street, and I would hear it on the radio, and I said, I can answer that, you know.
Percy actually had a chance to be a true Super Bowl hero. In the final seconds of that game, Roger Staubach mounted a desperate but futile comeback. He lobbed 3 Hail Marys into the end zone. The first was to Drew Pearson. The second was to Percy.
The Steelers were aware of me at that point after scoring the score, and they had 3 guys on me. I was basically triple teamed. I think Roger was depending more on my leaping ability. If I had jumped maybe just a split second later, I would have gotten that pass, because basically it didn't get to touch my fingers, but had I timed it just right, I would have gotten it. Every time I see Roger, he talk about it. Cliff Harris talk about it. And they called me Bird at the time, said, Bird, if you had gotten that one, you would have gone down in infamy, you know, something to that effect. And I always say, yeah.
Percy Howard walked off the field never to play again in the NFL, but he fondly remembers his one catch.
I had you might say, a highlight in my life, other than probably my kids being born. That was a highlight of my life. It's something that I always remember and keeps me alive in the NFL, and I love it.
This is not what you want in a shave. Now you've got the edge with 6 rich lubricants. For less irritation, you've got the edge. what you want in a shave. Now you've got the edge with 6 rich lubricants for less irritation. You've got the edge.
Your time is valuable, so don't waste it standing in line. Mailboxes, etc. is open when you need us, and you'll be helped promptly. Get Stamps, a private mailbox which you can also check by phone, and professional packing and supplies. You can also receive and send packages or overnight mail. Mailboxes, etc. Now at over 1,400 convenient locations.
Watson's incredible 2-for-1 sale. Our suppliers have agreed to slash their prices so we can sell for less, but only for a limited time. Jordan Slate pool tables, 2 for $9.99. Leisure Bay spas, 2 for $24.99. Don't need to? Bring a friend. Sunmaster pools, 24-footer, 2 for $6.88. Wolf and ETS tanning beds, 16-ball bed, 2 for $24.99. Wood stoves, fireplace glass doors, and gas logs, all 2 for $1 during Watson's 2-for-1 sale.
The history of the Super Bowl is not only about the all-time greats, it's also about those who are great for only a single afternoon. In Super Bowl XXII, a rookie running back appeared out of nowhere to lead the Redskins to victory. For one glorious game, he was the most prolific runner in Super Bowl history. Then, he was out of football just as suddenly. Timmy Smith may be the ultimate flash-in-the-pan story, but there may yet be a sequel, and Timmy Smith is hoping that in part 2, the good guy wins in the end.
In 1987, any NFL stadium was a welcome sight for Timmy Smith. He was really just happy to be healthy and in football after injuries had limited him to just 1 game his senior season at Texas Tech. And as the Redskins' 5th-round draft pick, he readily accepted his role of backup to number 38, George Rogers. Smith's regular season was spent more as a cheerleader than a game breaker, but it was his postseason that changed his life forever. With Rodgers hampered by injuries, the Redskins made Smith their workhorse in playoff wins over the Bears and Vikings. Still, Smith had never started an NFL game, and Redskin coaches were unsure whether he could carry the load in the Super Bowl.
We had talked about it as a staff, and we said, hey, he's the guy right now that's producing for us, and he probably should be the guy to do most of the playing in this game. We said, well, let's wait and see how practice goes and see if he seems to be extremely tight in practice. Well, one thing about Timmy, he was a very likable young man. He was happy-go-lucky, and he was the same way that week. And he didn't seem uptight at all, even though it was the Super Bowl. So we talked about it, and we said, hey, let's go ahead and start him.
And so just 10 minutes before the kickoff of Super Bowl XXII, Don Breaux pulled his rookie runner aside in the stadium tunnel and told him he'd be starting the biggest game of his life.
I just about fainted because, you know, I never dreamed of starting the Super Bowl. I didn't get to play that much in the regular season, and here I am starting in front of millions and millions of people.
He'll hand off to Smith, the deep back. Good hole. Midfield. Horse race to the 40. Far side 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. Timmy Smith from 58 yards.
It was like a dream come true. I got to thinking on the sideline. I asked myself, is it really me out there doing all that running? He said, yeah, it's you. Just keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. Don't let up, you know.
I'd hand that ball to Timmy Smith, see what he can do with it again. Here goes Timmy Smith over the left side. Good blocks, 40, 35, 30. Breaks it outside to the 20. He's to the 15 and pulled down at the 11. Holy cow, say the Broncos. Who is that kid?
No rookie had ever rushed for 100 yards in a Super Bowl. In Washington's 42-10 victory, Timmy Smith finished with 204, a Super Bowl record. But just as quickly as Smith skyrocketed to success, he unceremoniously crash-landed back to earth. In 1988, Smith became the Redskins starter, but he never became the back they had hoped. Some people questioned Smith's work habits, and it was reported that he lacked the discipline and concentration to make it in the NFL.
There has to be a real professional attitude in terms of preparation, in terms of being in total shape, the mental preparation that you make week to week in anticipation of what you're going to see from your opponent. And I think to have a career with some longevity to it, those have to be a priority in your life. And I don't know, he just couldn't duplicate that particular performance.
Just a year and a day after his Super Bowl heroics, Washington decided not to re-sign Timmy Smith. In 1990, Smith was cut after one game with the Dallas Cowboys. But to this day, he isn't ready to close the book on his career. It is now almost 4 years since his Super Bowl triumph, and at the age of 27, Timmy Smith spends his days working out with his friend and former Cowboy running back Roderick Sargent in hopes of getting just one more shot in football.
And you only play 2 seasons, you get cut short, so you want to get back out there and continue what you like doing.
Come on, Timmy, come on. Get it! Ah! Yes, sir. It's 2 times in a row, Timmy. Let's lack of concentration. Come on, man. You know it ain't easy. Because it would, we wouldn't be out here. Let's go. Set, go. Come on. Move your feet. There you go. Head up.
Good. I see a guy who's motivated and determined to get back in.
James, come on, James, let's go.
All he needs is opportunity and somebody just take a chance and open the door again for him. I know that they wouldn't be disappointed.
Show them how much you want to get back. Show them how much you want.
Good. I think it'll help for me to get another chance to get back out there. You know, if you can get another chance and try to redeem yourself, to try to show the league that you're not that guy that only could play one game and that's it.
Today, just as in 1987, any NFL stadium would be a welcome sight for Timmy Smith. But even if he never sets foot on a football field again, Smith will always have that one day when he was the best running back ever to play in the Super Bowl. It is his day to hold dearly, his one moment in time.
I was one of the luckiest guys that got that chance to play in the Super Bowl. You know, and I cherish that. You know, these guys play 9 and 10 years that don't even come close to the Super Bowl. And I think I was one of the luckiest guys that got that chance to play and perform the way I did.
Norelco presents Close Shaves. The Broncos have just cut the Bills' lead to 3 and recovered an onside kick. Can Denver drive to the tying field goal, or will Buffalo's defense preserve victory? Stay tuned for a dramatic close shave.
Can a razor cut your beard off below the skin without the blades even touching your face? It can if it's a Norelco. Norelco's patented lift and cut system lifts the hair, so when it's cut, it can actually drop below skin level without the blades even touching your face. Are you getting a shave this incredibly close and exceptionally comfortable? You are when you shave with Norelco. Norelco, we make close comfortable.
Kubiak has been brilliant, and Sewell is swung around and loses the ball. It is Bill Ball.
Buffalo's defense comes through, preserving a dramatic close shave victory.
Construction is finished on Moore's Fitness World locations in Florence and Sharonville, and a grand opening is underway at Moore's in Middletown.
Just wait till you see what we're doing for an encore.
We're bringing back the fantastic Moore's Light Pay-As-You-Go program for only $14 a month. That's right, only $14 a month. It includes free step aerobic classes and our new computerized treadmills. If Moore's Light isn't twice as good as any program you've tried, you can stop paying. Call now. The Moore's Light program ends Wednesday.
Watson's incredible 2-for-1 sale. Our suppliers have agreed to slash their prices so we can sell for less, but only for a limited time. Sunmaster Pools, 24-footer, 2 for $688. Wolf and ETS panning beds, too, during Watson's 2-for-1 sale.
Inside Edition is so real you can feel it. Bill O'Reilly, Experience Network anchor. We go in, we get the story, we get the truth. That's why we're here. Bill O'Reilly, Inside Edition.
At 7 on WLWT Channel 5.
With all its publicity and hype, the Super Bowl is pro football's ultimate achievement. And while all the pomp is par for the course, it's a circumstance only the most fortunate players and coaches ever know. All of us, we'll never know the thrill of playing for a Vince Lombardi trophy. But the men who have, for them, the Super Bowl experience is something they'll never forget.
For all its pomp and pageantry, the Super Bowl in reality is a vast human drama of epic proportion. Its character has been shaped by some of the most famous names and renowned people ever to grace an NFL playing field. Its champions include men of diverging personalities and different backgrounds. Men who somehow are bonded together in the sharing of the Super Bowl experience. Yes, they compete for a trophy, for a diamond ring, for money. But more than anything else, even more than the glory, many of the players who have triumphed in the Super Bowl agree that the greatest reward of them all is just to have been there.
Unless you've been in one, it's like 100-fold. It's just unbelievable. I mean, the biggest game you've ever won, the most exciting game you've ever been in, it's the greatest feeling you can ever imagine.
Super Bowl XVII, I started to cry when I called the last play, and I said, winning Super Bowl champion formation on 2, ready, break. I mean, and I get goosebumps thinking about it now. I don't think anybody can appreciate the emotion of that particular moment in an athlete's life when you are absolutely at the pinnacle of your career. You turn around and you see your whole team running at you. You say, yes, yes, this is it. This is what it's all about. This is what you're waiting for in your entire life, in your career. It's for this moment, and it's here. There's a lot of things that may happen. Young receivers will come by in the Super Bowl, and as they did, break your records. People will make other spectacular catches. There'll be game-winning catches. But Super Bowl X, that Sunday, that was my day. Forever.
God would come down right now. Terry, what can I do for you? Send me and put me back in one Super Bowl and put me on the 1 foot line and give me 2 minutes to go and give me all 3 of my timeouts and give me my boys. And then let me hear my name over the loudspeaker. Let me hear the roar of the crowd. Bradshaw, Bradshaw. And let me have them booing on one side. Let me get in and call plays, see the eyes grow as I call these plays and talk to them. Let me feel the hair on my back crawl up. I mean, that's what the Super Bowl does to you. I mean, it's doing right now to me. I mean, I could go out right now and play. I know I can play 2 minutes. I know I can play 2 minutes.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. After all, why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
The Tums neutralizer of the week is Washington cornerback Darrell Green. Number 28 came back from a first-half rib injury in the NFC Championship game against the Lions to return an interception for a touchdown, capping a 41-10 victory.
To help relieve her heartburn, her antacid uses aluminum and magnesium, but his is Tums, and Tums has calcium.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Tums.
Now you can roll away unsightly debris from carpets, roll away stubborn lint or dandruff in seconds. Clinging pet hair on skirts and sweaters, roll it up and rinse it away. Introducing Magic Roller. It picks it up, you rinse it off, and use it again and again. Don't struggle cleaning old-fashioned clothing brushes or replacing messy paper refills. Magic Roller's permanent silicone surface lasts and lasts. Its space-age roller penetrates so thoroughly, watch it pull the print right off a newspaper, yet it's gentle enough to use on this delicate cashmere sweater. Send now. And you also receive this fold-away travel-size Magic Roller. Its magnet-like action attracts dust, lint, and hair just like the big household model. You get them both for only $14.98. Magic Roller is ideal for car seats, mats, and slip covers, fresh and upholstered furniture, lampshades, needlepoint. Pick up dirt, dust, and debris your vacuum missed, and you might not even see. Magic Roller is the best clothing brush on the market. It has hundreds of uses, and best of all, it rinses right off. Send to Magic Roller at this address now. You get both home and travel Magic Rollers for only $14.98. Order more than one set and take $2 off every additional set you order. Be sure to order today.
For the Bills and the Redskins, Super Bowl XXVI is the culmination of a long season of struggle and strain. It's also the one day for which every player strives, a chance for the Lombardi Trophy and football immortality. For the fans, the Super Bowl is the ultimate show. But for the men who play, it's the ultimate showdown.
Travel provided by U.S. Air with more than 2,500 flights a day throughout the United States, Canada, Europe, and the Caribbean. Everything we do, U.S. Air begins with you. Accommodations provided by Hilton. Now enjoy special low bounce-back rates Thursday through Sunday. Free continental breakfast and kids stay free. Hilton's Bounce-Back Weekend.